Remember the hype around this game? Doesn't feel like that long ago when Nintendo revealed this in a Nintendo Direct, catching us all by surprise. Everyone, including myself, was absolutely shocked at this game's reveal. It had been 15 years since we last saw an installment in the Mario Strikers series. The hype for this game was unreal. But did it live up to our expectations? In this video, I'll be talking about almost every aspect of this game to determine if it is worth the hype or not. Since this game's release, we've had 3 major updates for the game, with 2 more on the way. Each update adds 2 new characters to the game, as well as a new stadium and a new gear set. The game started out with 10 characters. 10! Even the first Mario Tennis game had more characters than that. Heck, Mario Strikers Charged had more characters than that, even if you only include the team captains. The character roster consisted of Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Rosalina, Toad, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Wario, and Waluigi. What's that? You didn't hear me say Daisy? That's odd. Let me check again. Oh, come on! This game didn't even include Daisy at launch! Daisy! You know Daisy, the one character that makes it into every single Mario spin-off title? And she wasn't even here at launch! Now yes, Daisy was added to the game soon after it was released along with Shy Guy. The next update added Pauline and Diddy Kong. The most recent update, at the time of making this video, added Bowser Jr. and Birdo. We have yet to see the characters in updates 4 and 5. I know I was complaining about how small the character roster was, but it is planned to be doubled by the end of the game's development. That means there will be 20 characters, which is far more acceptable than 10. The only reason I was complaining is because there wasn't much being offered from the character roster at launch. The thing about this game's method of choosing a team that's different from the first 2 games is that you can choose any characters you want. The first 2 games had you pick a captain and then the rest of the players. The catch was that the captain selection and the player selection offered different characters. Simply put, if you want a team that has Mario and Luigi, that's not gonna happen. But Mario Strikers Battle League fixes this problem. You can now choose any 4 characters you want on your team, which is pretty cool. The character roster for this game is great. It just would have been better if there were more characters at launch. This game does something a little different with the stadium selection. Instead of choosing 1 stadium, you now choose 2. You might be wondering, how does that work? Well, what happens is the 2 stadiums merge together to create one full-size stadium. One half of the stadium could be full of grass and mushrooms, while the other is full of fire and lava. You might be thinking, that's really cool, and on paper, it does sound cool. But here's the problem. The stadiums all play the same. It doesn't matter if you merge Tropical Jungle with Spooky Mansion or Royal Castle with Planet Toy. This game will always play the same. That's my biggest issue with this game. There's no variety in the stadiums besides how they look. Sure, this may have been done to make online better so that people aren't choosing really annoying stadiums and all that, so they made each one the same. But if that's the reason, why do it in the first place? Either make stadiums that don't merge together and are unique from one another, or do my really cool idea. I've shared this idea once before on this channel. I think it would be awesome if one half of the stadium was haunted by ghosts and the other half had lava sprouting up. That's just an example. Imagine how awesome it would be if each stadium had its own stage hazards and got merged with the stadium that has entirely different stage hazards. It would be awesome, and it sucks that they didn't implement it in the actual game. Alright, let's start saying some positive things about this game, shall we? I think the core gameplay, when you really get down to it, is some of the best we've seen in Mario Sports history. Sure, as I mentioned before, the stadiums don't offer a lot of variety and the character roster is kind of small, but when you put that aside, this game can be a lot of fun. One of the biggest reasons fans fell in love with this series is because of how fast-paced it can be. There's never a dull moment with this game. Mario Strikers Battle League offers a very fast-paced experience. There's tons of stuff like tackles, items, and hyper strikes that keep this game interesting. Sure, if you play this game non-stop, it would start to get a little boring, but that can be said about almost any Mario sports game out there. Nowadays, If you're gonna make a sports game of any kind, you have to include online play. Mario Strikers Battle League not only includes online play, but makes it interesting by adding Strikers Clubs. Strikers Clubs are exactly what they sound like. They're clubs you can join. You can either create your own Strikers Club or join someone else's. I did make my own back when this game came out that I encouraged people to join. There are even seasons. During a season, you're put in a division with 4 other Strikers Clubs, and your goal is to earn more points than the rest of them. You earn points by playing other teams through online matches. The more matches you play, the more points you'll earn. Sometimes a season will change up the rules to make things a bit more interesting. Other than that, there isn't much to do online. But hey, that's a decent amount of content right there. Many Mario sports games will include something to do outside of regular matches such as tourneys, minigames, and more. Mario Strikers Battle League offers one game mode outside of quick matches and online play. Oh boy, I wonder what it is! If they only went through the effort of making one extra game mode, it must be good. Is it a story mode? No. Minigames? No. Well then what could it be? What? You're telling me the developers only decided to make one game mode outside of the main game, and that game mode is more of the main game? Don't get me wrong, tourneys or cup battles are a staple of the Mario Sports series. You can't make a Mario Sports game without a tourney mode. But when that's the only game mode you're gonna add, what's the point? Tourneys are just quick matches against a few different teams, but what makes them different from quick matches is that you don't decide what teams you play against. You also only have 2 lives. Wow, revolutionary. Remember before when I said my biggest issue with this game was the lack of variety in stadiums? Yeah, I take that back. My actual biggest issue with this game is the lack of content. This segment won't take long. Gear is one of the best things implemented in a Mario sports game ever. Don't like a character's stats? Make him wear a barrel. Gear is so much fun. You can customize the stats of every character to fit your wants and needs. I know it doesn't sound like much, but I think Gear is a really cool addition to this game, and I'd love to see it return in future Mario sports games. However, the one problem I have with Gear is that you need to grind matches to be able to afford it sometimes. To earn Gear, you need to be able to pay coins for it. This can be a problem if you don't have many coins. It would be nice if there was something you could do, like a mini game you could play, or a way to earn coins really fast. But no, you're expected to grind matches to afford the gear you want. While it does make sense, it can be really annoying at times. Anyways, Gear is a really cool addition to this game nonetheless. So was Mario Strikers Battle League worth the hype? In some ways, yes. Mario Strikers Battle League offers amazing core gameplay that's fun for everyone. This is a really great game to play with friends. The ability to customize your character's gear makes choosing your dream team a really fun part of this game. But in a lot of ways, this game was kind of a letdown. There was a huge lack of content at launch, and even now, with 3 major updates, there's still not much the game has to offer. I mean, look at Mario Strikers Charged. That game had the decency to add events. Or even look at another Mario Sports game entirely. Look at Mario Golf Super Rush. Released only a year prior to this game, Mario Golf Super Rush offered an entire story mode that was really fun to complete, on top of many other game modes to do outside of that. I personally believe that if Mario Strikers Battle League was worked on for just a bit longer, it would have been a million times better. The developers sabotaged themselves by adding the rest of the content to the game after its release. And believe me, I have no issue with games having content added to them after their release. But I do have a problem with it when the game is obviously incomplete at launch. If you're not sure whether to buy this game, here's my take. If you've played and enjoyed the previous Mario Strikers games, and just want something new with the series, Mario Strikers Battle League may provide an enjoyable experience for you. If you didn't like the previous Mario Strikers games to begin with, you definitely won't enjoy this game. If you haven't played Mario Strikers at all, I would still recommend this game to people that enjoy fast-paced games with a lot of chaos. So if I had to give Mario Strikers Battle League a score out of 10, I would give it a 6 out of 10. This score would be way higher if the game just simply added a bit more content. This game is far from bad, but it still has its problems. Anyways, that'll be it for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time, but until then, keep being awesome Nintendo fans. Peace out!